of the graduates. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the graduates please be seated as the class marshals post the college colors? They will be escorted by members of the Executive Board of the Student Government Association. As I call their names, would the class marshals take their seats with their respective classes? From the College of Science, Abby Marie Hutala, Bachelor of Science with a 4.0 QPA. Also from the College of Science, Stephanie Marie Miller with a Bachelor of Science and a 4.0 QPA. Rebecca P. Tebow with a Bachelor of Science and a 4.0 QPA. Shradra Devi Kaj with a Bachelor of Science and a 4.0 QPA. From the College of Engineering, Joseph W. Dines with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and a 4.0 QPA. From the College of Computer and Information Sciences, David I. Richards with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and a 3.964 QPA. From the Bouvet College of Health Sciences, Mark Xavier Cleary, with a Bachelor of Science degree and a 4.0 QPA. Lindsay Ashton Williamson, with a Bachelor of Science and a QPA of 4.0. From the College of Social Science and Humanities, Kelsey Bacon, with a Bachelor of Science degree and a 3.988 QPA. From the College of Business Administration, Louis J. Piscotano, with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration and a QPA of 3.969. And from the College of Arts, Media, and Design, Yu Hei Kim, a Bachelor of Arts and a QPA of 3.938. And also from the College of Arts, Media, and Design, Sean Patrick Reed, with a Bachelor of Science degree and a QPA of 3.938. And now, representatives of the university faculty will take their places. Alumni representing the class of 1962 and Golden graduates will now take their seats. Would all degree candidates and their guests please rise? The Reverend Dr. Michael E. Haynes will offer the invocation. After the prayer, let us all join in singing the first stanza of the national anthem, led by Alexi Brittany Calvo, College of Science.
I invite you, according to your own persuasion of faith, to join me in prayer or quiet meditation or a moment of sacred silence at this great celebratory day in the life journey of the class of 2012. Let us pray. Although diverse in religion, race, nationality, politics, and economic status, yet a profound commonality, a dream, a vision, a deep yearning for formal education, a university degree, has brought the class of 2012 to historic Roxbury and the campus of Northeastern University. In the words of the late gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, the class of 2012 could well sing, "My soul looks back and wonders how I got over." We thank you, O God. We have executed the discipline, pursued the required courses, struggled through the exams, found the sources to pay the bills, and on this day, we rise to receive our degrees. We thank you, O God. Guide us as we step into our next pursuit in this very challenging, changing, uncertain, and somewhat chaotic world. Grant that the class of 2012 will in some significant, big or small way, help to make this nation and this world and our own little corner of this world a better place in which all people can live. Your servant Martin Luther King Jr. challenged all the people of this world and of this nation to recognize that, in his words, all life is interrelated, and we are made to live together because of the interrelated structure of reality. So, send us forth as agents for positive change and betterment wherever our next chapter shall assign us. Ever remind us of this uncertainty and brevity in life. Let us never forget that we will be held accountable for how we use it. So, in the inspired words of the New England poet Longfellow, let us now then be up and doing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and learn to wait. Amen and amen.
color guard from the Army ROTC will now post the colors.
Seated. Good morning, everyone. I am Steve Director, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, and I want to welcome all of you to our 110th commencement. This is truly a great day. It's a memorable day. A day that most of you, all of you, have been looking forward to for 4, 5, perhaps 6 years. And on behalf of the faculty and staff of Northeastern University, I wish to extend congratulations to all of you who are receiving degrees today. It is now my pleasure to introduce the President of Northeastern University, Joseph E. Aoun.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I can't hear anything. Good morning. One more time. Let's do it all together. Good morning. When did you go to bed last night? It is my honor and privilege to welcome you to the 110th commencement exercises. Graduates, we salute your accomplishments. We share in your joy. This is a day to celebrate all that you have achieved and to imagine all that lies ahead. Parents, families, and friends, spouses, and partners, this day marks the fulfillment of long-held dreams and aspirations. Graduates, join me in thanking them for the sacrifices they have made and the support they have provided to make this moment possible. Trustees, faculty, colleagues, and staff, now is the moment to celebrate and rejoice in the fruits of our work. Honorary degree recipients, you honor us with your presence. Each one of you has charted your own path, honed your own talents. Your extraordinary contributions enrich and inspire us all. We are pleased to welcome you to the Northeastern family. Let's give them a warm applause. Now, I have been told that college graduates rarely remember what the president of their university said at commencement. I know that many of you are shocked by this statement, and I am too. Well, in an effort to counter this trend, I'm going to keep my remarks concise and hopefully memorable. I will share with you 3 principles that I have tried to live by on a daily basis. First, surround yourself with people who are ahead of you, people who challenge you and force you to think deeply. As president of Northeastern, I cannot have all the answers, nor should I have them. On a daily basis, my eyes are opened and my thinking sharpened by my colleagues. They may be seated behind me on this stage, but they are ahead of me in their thinking. I should add that many of you, students, have taught me to understand and to see the world in a new way. You have helped me understand the value of virtual communities. You have even led me to become engaged with you on Twitter and become part of the global connectivity that your generation has embraced. You are digital natives, and you are way ahead of me in this domain. As each of you knows firsthand, learning from others is the essence of a Northeastern education. However, through co-op, you learn not just from your professors and classmates, but from people and experiences around the world. This ability to learn and put new knowledge into practice is a tremendous advantage that will remain with you forever. It is much more than a valuable skill. At its best, experiential learning is a way of life. My second guiding principle was articulated by Eleanor Roosevelt. Do something every day that scares you. Let me rephrase that. I suspect that not even Eleanor Roosevelt welcomed a daily scare. But do not shy away from that which scares you, especially at those junctures of your life where taking a risk could mean profound rewards. When I completed my graduate education here in the United States, I had several jobs lined up back in France, where I had lived previously and had planned to build my life. But a funny thing happened. On the way to Paris, I ended up in Los Angeles. This was not part of the plan. In fact, it wasn't something I had even contemplated. It was also a big risk. Had I taken a teaching job in Paris, I would have remained in my comfort zone. But I wanted more. I wanted to work in a new, dynamic, provocative environment, one that would give me the opportunity to do groundbreaking work, to change the shape of my field, and to make real contributions. The bottom line is that I traded security for opportunity. Well, looking back today, this was clearly the right decision. But I couldn't have known that at the time. I changed countries, continents, and cultures twice. I did something to scare myself, and it changed the direction of my life. So be attuned to those moments when a single decision can have a transformative impact. And in those moments, be bold. Take risks, even if it scares you. My third principle is the following. Community gives life and meaning to your promise. Let me explain. Our honorary degree recipients today are remarkably accomplished. They have achieved worldwide renown in the fields of diplomacy, education, philanthropy, and government. But their accomplishments are vastly magnified by something larger, something that unites them all. Their lives have been shaped by service to others. They commit their talents and their passions to causes larger than themselves. Each understands that an individual path is part of a collective journey. Ambition takes on another dimension entirely when it fuels a cause or a mission greater than your own. Engagement and service bring personal fulfillment in addition to success, something I wish for each of you. So these are three simple precepts that have guided me. Surround yourself with people who are ahead of you. Don't be afraid to scare yourself. And community gives life and meaning to your promise. I hope that these precepts will be as useful to you as they have been to me. Your decisions and your choices will shape your lives and careers. In a world of rapid change and at a time of enormous challenges, they will also shape our collective futures. We are in your hands. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, President Aoun. It is a tradition at our commencement ceremonies to have an outstanding student address their fellow graduates. So it gives me great pleasure now to introduce this year's student speaker, Emily Batt. Emily has forged a remarkable career at Northeastern. A physics major and a 2010 Steamboat Scholar, she has undertaken significant research for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Oregon State University, and worked on a joint project between the MIT Media Lab and Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. She is focused on a career as an engineering innovator, and after graduation and spending a summer in Europe, she will join Fixed Product Development Company. Please join me in welcoming your commencement student speaker.
President Aoun, Provost Director, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, family, friends, but above all, the class of 2012, welcome. It gives me great pride to address you this morning, for I am humbled by the incredible accomplishment of the graduating class. It is an honor to be counted among you, such an industrious, creative, prolific group of people, and I have no doubt that we will come to find our education here was as much benefited by the individuals around us as by the books in front of us. But that's not to say that college hasn't been a time for learning important lessons, some more consequential than others. If your experience has been at all akin to mine, perhaps college taught you how to run a dishwasher without filling the kitchen floor with bubbles, or how to hide a pet rabbit in a university dorm, or maybe you learned to pull an all-nighter in Club Snell, but hopefully you learned to pull an all-nighter in an actual club. Maybe at Northeastern you conquered the tunnels, an accomplishment at least worthy of an honorary degree. Or I know that I learned no matter how many multicolored dog statues you put on one campus, they will never get as much attention as a single mysterious bronze cat. But in reality, college, and in particular Northeastern, has prepared us to confront a world grappling with unprecedented variability. The world ahead of us is open in ways it has never been before, and our generation is posed on a precarious fulcrum. It is my hope that our peers from other schools will learn quickly what we, as Northeastern graduates, already know, that in life, the most compelling motivation will come from the deep and complex commitments we make to other people, and that our role as individuals will be evaluated by our contribution to perpetuating the success of something larger than ourselves. At Northeastern, we've had the singular opportunity to straddle the line between college life and the real world, and that has imbued in us an appreciation for the complicated imperatives we will face in our future. Because from the second that we set foot on our campus, we were not only members of the Northeastern community, we were members of the Boston community. We were members of Back Bay and Mission Hill and the Fenway and Roxbury, the neighborhoods that daily shape our school and the neighborhoods that we, in turn, influence. These reciprocal relationships can be tenuous, but we've spent the past 4 or 5 years learning how to navigate them, and we know now that it is not a mere responsibility, but an honor and a challenge to foster these relationships carefully. For the rest of our lives, we will be challenged to balance such relationships, to our friends, our family, our workplaces, our homes, and our cities. And it is up to us to make these commitments work in concert with the goals and aspirations that we envision for ourselves. It is up to us to make them work in tandem with our own strengths and our weaknesses. But at Northeastern, we are uniquely prepared to do so. We have been working towards this since day one. In choosing to come to Northeastern, we perhaps tacitly acknowledge that we understand our future will require a skill set the world has never known, a skill set anchored by intellectual exploration, but fortified with practical expertise. This skill set will demand that its users decipher a convoluted system of relationships and obligations and commitments in an increasingly global context. Northeastern students have had the foresight to recognize that developing these relationships is an indelible part of our future. We've had the foresight to concede that our personal success is inherently connected to these commitments. And so we've risen to the task. We have thrown ourselves to all corners of the globe. We have lived on every continent. We have worked in every industry. We have researched every science. We have started companies. We've written novels. We've invented products. We've discovered compounds. We've recorded albums and treated illnesses. We've designed buildings and translated dialogues. We've instructed children and exhibited artwork. We've generated clean energy. We've developed software. We've served in government. We've broadcast the news and produced films, rescued animals, and programmed robots. And we haven't even graduated. With each of these tasks, we are reminded of the formidable test of managing sometimes conflicting forces to work towards a greater goal. We are reminded of the difficulties of simultaneously honoring commitments to a country, a culture, a company, and our coworkers. But we are fueled by our passion for the work, the opportunity to make a legacy, to galvanize a movement, to contribute to something beyond ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we know that all work is a human endeavor, and we must never lose sight of the impact we have on the lives we intersect. So when we can perceive our work in the context of the dynamic commitment shaping it, to the individuals involved, and to the environment at hand, only then can we see the richness of our accomplishments, the value of our failures, and the excellence of our struggles. Congratulations, 2012. Go far.
Thank you very much, Emily, for your very, very inspiring remarks. It's now my pleasure to introduce Jillian Butler, chair of the Senior Class Gift Drive. Jillian is an incredibly active student leader who rallied her class with great spirit. She is graduating with a degree in communications. She has served in leadership positions with student government and community service organizations. And as a peer mentor following graduation, Jillian plans to pursue a career in corporate philanthropy. Please join me in welcoming Jillian Butler to the podium to present the 2012 class gift.
Okay, I'll come to this. I most certainly will not be the last person to say this, but congratulations! Many of you have seen my face around campus, have taken the first step towards being an active and engaged member of the alumni community here at Northeastern by donating to the Senior Gift Drive, whether it was coming to an event or making your gift towards something that you were passionate about Northeastern. You've recognized and acknowledged the incredible experience that this school has given us, like Emily mentioned a few of them. And I want to thank you for helping to ensure the sustainability of some of our favorite programs, events, sports, clubs, and more. Preserving these opportunities for future generations of Huskies. It's with great pride today that I present this check on your behalf to the university for $13,889. Where are you? One more thing. And I hope that you'll join me and continue to give back to this university so that we can keep Northeastern an amazing place to learn, live, and thrive. And I want to thank you all and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
Don't take it back. I want it. No, I'm joking. That's fine. Before we continue, I would like to recognize the Golden graduates, the Golden alumni who have been with us more than 50 years. I wish you the same long life and the same engagement with Northeastern. Thank you. I also would like to acknowledge our Grand Marshal, Professor Robinson, who is retiring after 57 years. Let's give him a warm round of applause. Great.
Our alumni are important members of the Northeastern community. I have the pleasure of introducing Jack Moynihan, class of 1993, and Vice President of Alumni Relations and the Northeastern Fund. Please join me in welcoming Jack to the podium.
It is my privilege to welcome the class of 2012 to Husky Nation, a network of more than 207,000 Northeastern University graduates spread across the country and around the world. Today, you join a unique group of innovative, influential, and motivated leaders who have blazed the trail before you. As the President said, we are honored to have some of these alumni joining us today. Representing our entire alumni community are the members of the 50th reunion class of 1962 and other fellow Golden grads who are joining us for a portion of today's celebration. Golden grads, please rise. Golden grads, I present to you our newest class of alumni. To the class of 2012, we are truly excited about what the future holds for you. You are Northeastern. We have faith in your abilities and wish you great success. We also hope that your alumni experience is as rewarding as your student experience has been. Maintain a lifelong connection to this university and celebrate all that it means to be a Husky. We are all in this together. You, me, and everyone here today. We are Northeastern. Now, please join me for our traditional pinning ceremony, and please welcome Senior Daniel O'Brien to the podium. Daniel, who today is receiving his Bachelor of Science in International Affairs from the College of Social Science and Humanities, was honorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps, holding the rank of corporal, having served on a humanitarian mission in the Philippines and a deployment in Iraq. Class of 2012, please remove the pin from your card and place it on the fellow graduate on your right. This pin is a symbol of your hard work, determination, and accomplishments. We are all very proud of you and thrilled to welcome you into our alumni family. Wear this pin proudly. Congratulations, and go Huskies!
Thank you, Jack. Honorary degrees will now be conferred, and it's my pleasure to introduce Catherine S. McHugh, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees.
Mr. President, the Board of Trustees of Northeastern University authorizes the conferral of honorary degrees upon the following candidates in recognition of notable achievement in their respective fields. Dr. Kuntoro Mancusobroto for the degree of Doctor of Engineering, escorted by Trustees William S. Howard and Barbara C. Aline. Dr. Judith Roden for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, escorted by Trustee William J. Cotter and Vice Chair Carol Shapazian. Chairman Cy Sternberg for the degree of Doctor of Commerce, escorted by Trustee Alan S. McKim and myself. General Colin Powell for the degree of Doctor of Public Service, escorted by Chairman Cy Sternberg and Trustee Emeritus Roger Marino.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee McHugh. And now it is my pleasure to call upon Northeastern University Board of Trustee member William Howard to escort the degree candidate and Trustee Barbara Aline to join me at the podium.
Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting Kuntoro Mancusobroto for the degree Doctor of Engineering.
Kuntoro Mancusobroto, trusted presidential advisor, exemplary leader in crisis, standard bearer for progressive development. As a Northeastern graduate student, you learned from your mentor, engineering professor David Freeman, the value of positive thinking and trust. Integrating your knowledge and analytical skills with your deep managerial experience, you developed decision-making under pressure into an art and a science. Thus prepared, when called upon to lead your nation's recovery from an unprecedented natural disaster, you brought order to chaos through your progressive and pragmatic leadership. Having earned the trust of your countrymen, today you stand as an influential emissary of your president, charged with transforming Indonesia's civic culture.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Trustee Aline. And Kuntoro Mancusobroto, in recognition of the insight and integrity that you bring to every facet of your professional life, Northeastern University is pleased to bestow upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Engineering. In recognition of this degree, Bill Howard will vest you with the hood. And now I will present you with the diploma. It is my pleasure to call upon Northeastern Board of Trustee member William Carter to escort the degree candidate and Vice Chair Carol Shapazian to join me at the podium.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Judith Rodden for the degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
Judith Rodden, innovator in philanthropy, leader in academia, influential voice for global solutions. As president of the Rockefeller Foundation, you have reshaped one of the world's leading philanthropic organizations to meet the challenges of the 21st century. You have broken barriers throughout your career. As a pioneer in the field of research psychology, as the first woman to lead an Ivy League institution, the University of Pennsylvania, and as the first woman president of the Rockefeller Foundation. Yours has been an influential voice in support of creative new solutions that give the world hope that long-standing global issues of poverty and sustainability can be resolved.
Judith Rodden, in recognition of your inspired leadership in academia, science, and global development issues, Northeastern University is pleased to bestow upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters. In recognition of this degree, Trustee Carter will vest you with the hood. And now I will present you with the diploma. It is now my pleasure to call upon Northeastern Board of Trustee member Alan McKim to escort the degree candidate and Vice Chair Catherine McHugh to join me at the podium.
Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting Cy Sternberg for the degree Doctor of Commerce.
Bold chief executive, expansive thinker, dynamic advocate for education. Educated as an engineer at City College of New York and Northeastern, you achieved success as a leader at New York Life and Northeastern, a compelling story of a creative mind in action. As an electrical engineer and director of corporate information systems, you displayed the managerial qualities that would propel you to extraordinary achievement as CEO and chairman of one of the world's largest insurers. Passionate about education and committed to advancing Northeastern's mission, you brought the same elements of leadership, incisive analysis, and dynamic decision-making to your role as chairman of the Board of Trustees.
Cy Sternberg, in recognition of your nimble, perceptive approach to leadership that transcends organizations and industries, Northeastern University is pleased to bestow upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Commerce. In recognition of this degree, Trustee McKim will vest you with the hood. And now I'll present you with the diploma. Now, the chairman of the board has a lot to do during the whole year, and especially today. You'll see why in a second. It is my pleasure to call upon Northeastern Board of Trustees, Chairman Cy Sternberg, to escort the degree candidate, and Trustee Emeritus Roger Marino to join me at the podium.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Colin Powell for the honorary degree of Doctor of Public Service.
Colin Powell, what a pleasure. Military leader, champion of public service, valued advisor to 4 presidents. The son of immigrants, you overcame obstacles faced by many African Americans of your time, ultimately achieving global influence through your principled leadership. Joining the Army ROTC program at City College of New York, you launched an extraordinary military career that would culminate in your distinguished service as a 4-star general, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and now as Secretary of State. You pursued a deep commitment to advancing mankind's aspirations through democratic values, transforming lives and nations with the power of diplomacy and the force of your personal integrity.
General Colin Powell, in recognition of your tireless dedication to enlarging freedom and opportunity and inspiring a new generation of global leaders, Northeastern University is pleased to bestow upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Public Service. In recognition of this degree, Cy Sternberg will vest you with the hood. And now I'll present you with the diploma.
Thank you so very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your very kind and warm welcome. Mr. President, Chairman Sternberg, Provost Director, Ms. Batt, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, parents, family members, and the fabulous Northeastern graduating class of 2012. Good morning! Yay! I'm so pleased to be with you on this beautiful spring morning on this historic campus that has produced so many of America's leaders. I thank the Board of Trustees for conferring this honorary degree upon me. I am deeply appreciative and especially pleased to share this occasion with my distinguished fellow honorees. I'm doubly pleased to receive the degree from Chairman Sternberg, a good friend. Cy is on the advisory committee of the Colin Powell Leadership Center at the City College of New York, a wonderful school that we both are graduates of. Cy graduated in 1965 with a degree in engineering. I graduated Wait a minute now. I graduated 7 years earlier as a soldier, having busted out of engineering, okay? In his success, Cy has never forgotten the obligation he has to the schools that gave him the education that led to that success. And I offer my congratulations to Chairman Sternberg as he steps down from the chairmanship of the Board of Trustees, but you are fortunate that he will continue on the board. This is the first time I have ever been on the campus of Northeastern University, and a beautiful and creative and exciting campus it is. But I'm not a stranger to this neighborhood. I have to tell you this story. Many years ago, I was a young infantry lieutenant stationed at Fort Devens, Massachusetts, about 40 minutes to an hour west of here. One day, a fellow lieutenant asked me to join him on a double date with some young ladies who lived in the Back Bay section, about 5 minutes from here on Marlborough Street. He was interested in one of the ladies, and he asked me to join him to run interference with the other one, to get her out of the way. I had never been on a blind date, but he persuaded me to, go give it a try. She was no more interested in a blind date than I was. I was a young Army lieutenant from Harlem in the South Bronx. She came from a prominent family of educators in Birmingham, Alabama. She was working on a master's degree here in Boston at Emerson College, and she worked at the Boston Guild for the Hard of Hearing. She was definitely out of my league. I walked in and was pleasantly surprised, as apparently was she. We ended up dating for a number of months, and then President Kennedy had an idea. Let's send Powell to Vietnam to help with the buildup of advisors to see if we can help the Vietnamese. I was to be part of that team. I was excited and anxious to go. So I drove to Marlborough Street and shared this news with the young lady. I talked about the adventure that was ahead and that this was what being a soldier was all about. She listened patiently, and then she quietly said, "What about us?" "No problem," I said. "I'll be back in a year." Her eyes narrowed, and she raised one of those scary eyebrows that women sometimes raise. I knew I was in trouble. We were married 2 weeks later in Birmingham. We had a one-day honeymoon, and then I moved in with her at 372 Marlborough Street for a few months before I left for Vietnam. It was a wonderful little one-roomer that was our first home. This August, I and Alma, the pretty girl from Marlborough Street, will celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary. So thank you, Boston. Thank you, Marlborough Street. But this is not a day about me. This is a day about you. This is especially a day for your parents, as with joy in their hearts they see the culmination of all those years of anxiety, love, panic, and cost in this moment of achievement and success. Now, I noticed as I was coming in, you're all trying to spot where your parents are. Your parents are trying to spot them. So let's stop right now. All of you get up, find your parents, blow them a kiss, and say, "Thank you, I love you." Go ahead, do it. I offer my congratulations to the faculty and staff of Northeastern who imparted to the graduates their wisdom, their experience, and their example of service. You owe them a great deal, so please applaud this faculty and staff of this fabulous school. I remember my own graduation ceremony from the City College of New York 54 years ago. I was not planning to attend the ceremony. It was a night ceremony in a dark outdoor stadium, and it was a large class like this one, and you didn't get to cross the stage and have your name called out. So I figured my mother wouldn't notice that I wasn't there. In fact, I was at the Emerald Bar about a block or so away with a number of my fellow miscreants, figuring, we'll have a good time, we'll show up later. However, mothers being mothers, she sniffed the air and did not catch my scent. She knew where I was. That was the worst part of it. Mothers are like that. And so she sent a couple of my cousins over to catch me and to drag me back to the ceremony. She had waited a long time for that moment. It was not to be denied. And as the president noted, although most folks forget such things about what the speaker said or what the president said, I still remember who the graduation speaker was 54 years ago. It was another CCNY graduate, Dr. Jonas Salk, the developer of the Salk vaccine that defeated polio, which was so terribly common in those days. I pray that 54 years from now, you will remember who your graduation speaker was. The name is Powell, Powell. Don't forget it. Don't embarrass me. You got it? All right. I got to tell you, I wasn't considered one of the great successes of the CCNY educational system. The only reason I got out of CCNY was they included all of my ROTC grades into my grade point average. And I got straight A's in ROTC. And when they rolled it into there, it brought me up to 2.0. And they said, good enough for government work, get him out of there. Now I'm considered one of the greatest sons the City College of New York has ever had. So those of you who are not graduating with a 3.76 like Emily Batt, have faith, my young friends, have faith. It ain't where you start in the life, it's where you end up and what you did along the way. Did you work hard? Never stop learning? Did you believe in yourself? Were you your own role model? And did you believe in this country? And did you dream big? It's funny, I think about this, but many people come up to me now that I've been a Secretary of State and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and all that, a National Security Advisor, President. They say, gee, when you were a kid growing up in the South Bronx, did you dream that you would grow up to be a four-star general and Secretary of State? And I smile and I answer them, yeah, there I was. I believe I was about 12 years old. I was standing on the corner of Kelly Street and 163rd. And I said to myself, Self, you're going to grow up and become a four-star general and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. And it never will for anybody. I worked hard. I belonged to an institution that was only concerned about your performance and your potential. The Army in those days was the most socially progressive institution for blacks in this country, while segregation was still the law of the land in so many parts of our country. But it worked for me mostly because I loved doing something that was dear to my heart, and that was being a soldier. I loved being a soldier, and I was a good soldier because I worked hard at it. I didn't have to become a general. I didn't have to become a general to find satisfaction in my career, nor was that ever promised to me. I found satisfaction every day, knowing that I was trying to do my best and that I was serving my country. I went into the Army to be a soldier, not a general. Some of you may also know by now what you do well and love doing, and you may know what your life's work will be. But many of you may still be unsure, still looking around, and you may change your mind several times in the years ahead. Wherever you go, whatever path you follow, you have been well prepared by the rigorous education you received here at Northeastern. As each of you looks toward your future, always focus on finding that which you do well and that which you love doing. Do something that gives you satisfaction every day and makes our society a better place. Do something that helps your fellow citizens. Make sure you give a good measure of your time and your talent and your treasure in service to others. The need to serve others has never been greater in our nation. Money and position will or will not follow, but satisfaction will always be there. Always have a purpose in life that is beyond position and money. The marvelous and famous Northeastern co-op and service programs expose you to the non-academic world, to to ground you and connect you to the real world that you will be a part of. Above all, participate in the governing of this country. Serve on local committees and boards. Seek public office, and seek elective office if you are so inclined. You know, we complain a lot today about politics and politicians, and with good reason. But we can't sit around waiting for Superman to come save the day. We, the people, are the supermen and superwomen. We are the deciders. So make yourself smart about the issues. Don't fall for slogans and one-liners and super PAC money. Don't fall for the hate peddlers and the cable pundit commentary. You make your own mind up, make your own decision. And if you don't, like what they're doing, you vote against them. And if you do like it, you vote to keep them in or to bring them in. But don't stand on the sidelines. Vote. Any one of you who is eligible to vote but is not registered, come see me right after the ceremony. You ain't ready for this. We need in our political life now the kind of consensus building that our founding fathers knew so well. I still think about them in Philadelphia in 1787 for 4 months, and then I compare it to what our political system is like now. They sat there for 4 months, and they all had strong views. These were men of powerful opinions, but they knew they had to find compromise with each other. It's good to fight for what you believe in, but at some point you have to realize the other person may have a point and come together. And so they compromised on what the House of Representatives should look like, the power of the president. They compromised on what the Senate should look like, what the Congress should do. They compromised on one of the most difficult issues facing them at that time, slavery. And they couldn't solve it because they were there to create a nation and a constitution, not to solve this problem, so it had to be put off. If these men in a hot room in Philadelphia with no press watching could do this so long ago, why can't our politicians give us a budget that makes sense? It's ridiculous. The world you are now entering is so different and so much better than the world I started out in on my night of graduation. Then there were two great empires sworn to be our enemies, the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China. Great armies and nuclear weapons were aimed at each other. I spent 30 years being a soldier in the Cold War. I stood watch on the Iron Curtain in Germany as a corps commander and as a lieutenant. I fought in Vietnam for 2 years, an extension of that conflict. I served in Korea on the demilitarized zone. It finally ended for me, finally, on a day in 1988 in the Kremlin. I was National Security Advisor to President Reagan, and he was getting ready for his first trip ever to the evil empire. He was going to go to Moscow. And he sent me to Moscow first to talk to this interesting new leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, and to see more about what he was really planning to do. And it was a very difficult meeting. President Gorbachev kept beating up on me and criticizing my role as a soldier for all those years and criticizing the right wing of the party that Reagan represented, thinking they didn't understand the changes he was making. He was opening up his country. He was reforming his political economic systems, and he didn't think we understood. And I just sat there watching him, impassiveness on my face. And finally he realized he wasn't getting to me. And he stopped, and he paused, and he looked up. And then he had an idea, and he looked back down. And he stared across the table at me, and he's now smiling. His eyes are twinkling. And he gently says to me, General, I'm so very, very sorry. You'll have to find a new enemy. And I thought to myself, I don't want to. I have a whole career invested in this enemy guy. 30 years. Just because you're having a bad year, why do I have to change, you know? I don't get that. But he was having a bad century. Within 2 years of that meeting in the Kremlin, the Iron Curtain was gone, that border that I guarded so many times. The Soviet Union was gone. Germany was unified. The Warsaw Pact disappeared. And Gorbachev had to step down because he was a reformer and they needed a revolution. And our system triumphed, the system of democracy, free economics, giving people the right to select their own leaders and representing themselves to the rest of the world and recognizing the need for individual human dignity triumph. And we were the leader of that crusade that helped bring us to a new place in the world. On the other side of the world, the leaders of China, 1.3 billion people, a system not like ours. They don't respect human rights like we do, as we've seen in recent days. But they realized that they had to change too. And what they decided to do was to start making things to sell us. And if we didn't have enough money to buy the things they wanted to sell us, they were going to lend us the money to buy the things they wanted to sell us. And as a result of that simple economic theory, they have become the second largest economy in the face of the earth. I have also watched India emerge, and Latin America, and all parts of Asia, and now slowly Africa is starting to emerge. All of this was a triumph for the example of democracy and economic freedom that we presented to the world. It doesn't mean that other nations need to look politically just like us, but we present an example that works. Yet people often say to me, we are living in the worst of times. Not so. I've seen far worse times than this. We are living in challenging time, but more nations are free and democratic than ever before in history. More people are living under democracy than any other time in history. Hundreds of millions of people in the last 20 years have been brought up out of poverty, out of despair, and brought into the middle class and given a better life. The Arab Spring is all about jobs and economic opportunity, not fundamentalism. They have a religion, they have history and culture, but what they want more than anything is an economy that works, leaders that they selected, and the end of corruption so that they can start to build their economy and benefit their people. Jobs was what's driving the Arab Spring and the need for jobs. Ending corruption is perhaps the most difficult task for them. But while we celebrate these achievements, millions more of our fellow citizens of the world are in despair, hungry, without water, education, health care. They need and deserve our help. Those of us who have done well in this world, those of us who have used the resources of the world to better our lives, have an obligation to those who are not yet benefiting from the resources of the world. The dangers and yes, the dangers are still there. Every day we read about terrorism or Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran, North Korea, Syria, and other crisis areas. But none of these pose the kind of threat we have faced in the past. And what's unique about the situation is that the entire international community is with us, and we are with them as we try to solve these problems. They are, for the most part, isolated, without friends to take their side. We are still looked to as the leader of the world that wants to be free. These dangerous places I just touched on represent about 600 million people in a world of 7 billion. What are the rest doing? Trying to build their economy, try to create wealth to bring people up out of despair. Economics, wealth creation. The need to create national wealth is the most powerful political force at work in the world today. China brought 400 million people up, but they still have 800 million people who are in despair and poverty. And guess what? They can now see on television and on the internet what the others are getting, and they want theirs. And so that will be a major focus for China, and their people will demand greater influence in who their leaders are. It is the same thing throughout the world. America's greatest challenge, therefore, is for us to fix our economy. This is principally the work of the private sector, working within a sensible framework of government policies and fiscal discipline. We need to tell Congress that you can't keep spending $3 trillion a year and only taking in $2 trillion a year. You can't run a 7-Eleven like that. How are you going to run a country? It doesn't work. The world will need more energy of all kinds to sustain the economic growth that's going to take place. And we must find ways to use this additional energy and to generate it without devastating our environment. I am not an expert on climate change. It just seems to me, as a simple soldier, that anything we can do to reduce emissions and conserve energy makes sense, and we owe it to our kids to do it and be the leader of the world in achieving it. And above all, we owe our kids the best possible education. The forward-thinking nations of the world realize that their future will be determined by how well they educate their young people. That must also be our focus and a large part of my life is now spent on young people, getting them ready for education and then educating them. 15 years ago, at the request of President Clinton and the other living presidents, I founded the America's Promise Alliance. It is now chaired by my wife, Alma. America's Promise has become one of the largest youth-serving alliances in the country, with hundreds of partners. And our major effort right now is to make America, again, a nation of graduates. We have to create a nation of graduates. Almost a third of our kids are never getting to a Northeastern because they're not getting out of high school. They're dropping out. 50% of our minority kids are dropping out. This is a catastrophe for our country, and with all the wealth that we have, with all the capacity that we have, we can fix it, and we must fix it, and all of us have to play a role in fixing this situation. We know what it takes to bring young people along. It is based on a simple set of promises that are at the heart of the America's Promise Alliance that Alma chairs. Every child should have in his or her life loving, caring adults. And if the parents are not there to do it, we need to come in with Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, all sorts of programs that surround these youngsters with a positive adult experience. That's how you learn how to be a good child and a good adult. Secondly, we owe our children safe places in which to learn and grow. Boys and Girls Clubs, after-school programs, longer school days, so that we protect them and give them more education which they need. The third promise is our children deserve a healthy start in life. How can we, as a first world nation, the richest nation on the face of the earth, have 6 million uninsured children on our streets? It is a national tragedy and a disgrace. We ought to fix it. We have to make sure that our children are getting educated with a marketable skill that will fit into a 21st century economy. And finally, something that is so well known to you, but we have to bring it to every school level, down to kindergarten, give youngsters an opportunity to give back, to serve others, so that that virtue will grow with them as they become adults. Governments can't fix it. All of us have to fix it. And you can't just blame the schools and the teachers. I want to give them better salaries. I want better schools. But that's not the sole problem. Education does begin in the home, not in the schools. In the first weeks of life, there comes a moment when a child hears its mother's voice and knows that it's his mother. At that point, the brain shuts out all other languages and only listens to the mother's language. At that moment, this child makes a bond with his mother. She makes a bond with her mother. And that's when education begins. That's when language begins. And if the child is not read to over the next few years, doesn't learn colors, doesn't learn numbers, it will be behind by the time it gets to the first grade. And if we haven't fixed that, by the third grade, that kid is on the way to being a dropout or going to jail. It's demonstrable statistically. So all of us have to get involved. And I hope that each of you, as you move out in life, will do what you can to reach down, back, and across to help a young person stay in school and to reach their potential. So find a program that you can get involved in. You are the educated role models that kids can look up to. Be part of the solution. Make service a part of your life. Don't go about trying to save the world. You'll start saving the world by just saving one kid, and make that a part of your life, a part of your experience. Whatever you think of the world right now, good, bad, better than it used to be, worse than it used to be, whatever you think of it, it is going to be yours to shape. It's going to be yours to help bring a positive future, a better future to all of our citizens of the world. And America has a vital role to play. Despite our difficulties, we are still looked to as the inspiration for reform. We're still looked up to by the world that wants to be free. Tomorrow morning, people will be lined up at every consular office and embassy we have in the world. And when they get up to the window, they all say the same thing: I want to go to America. We're still that wonderful place that my parents found some 90 years ago when they came here. We are still the best hope as long as we remain faithful to our values and as long as we keep reaching out to the rest of the world. We are a nation of nations. We touch every nation touches us. And as long as we continue to enrich ourselves with new generations of leaders such as you, we are counting on you. And so congratulations, my young friends. Enjoy this beautiful day with your families. Go forth from this place inspired by those who have gone before. Go forth with the love of your families and with the blessings and pride of your teachers. Go forth to take your place and perform your duty and serve our nation. Go forth to make this an even more perfect union. Go forth and raise strong families, remembering, as Emily pointed out, that all you can ever leave behind is your reputation, your good works, and your children for the next generation. And let your dreams be your only limitations. Good luck, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Stop the music, please, for a second. Thank you, General Powell. We will always remember you. Let's prove it to him. How do we spell his name? P-O-W-E-L-L. Thank you.
Men and women of the class of 2012, the moment that you have all been waiting for and working towards through years of study is now here. The degrees in course will be conferred. Mr. President, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates assembled here have qualified in all respects for the degrees in course. They have successfully completed curricula offered by the several schools and colleges of Northeastern University and have been recommended by the faculty and council of deans to be awarded appropriate degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments. The candidates will be presented to you by the academic deans. After they have been presented, members of the graduating class in each school or college will please remain standing until their degrees have been conferred. I would now like to invite Alan Soyster, Interim Dean of the College of Engineering, to come forward.
The candidates from the College of Engineering to receive bachelor's degrees will please rise. Mr. President, I am pleased to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Science with specification.
Graduates, I salute you.
I'd now like to invite Harry Lane, Acting Dean of the College of Business Administration, to come forward.
Candidates from the College of Business Administration for the bachelor's degrees, please rise. Mr. President, I have the privilege of presenting the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration or Bachelor of Science in International Business.
Graduates, I salute you.
I would now like to invite Terry Fulmer, Dean of the Bouvet College of Health Sciences, to come forward.
The candidates for the bachelor's degree in the Bouvet College of Health Sciences will please rise. Mr. President, I have the honor to present the fabulous candidates who have qualified in all respects for their degree of Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Science with specification.
Graduates, I salute you.
I would like to invite Larry A. Finkelstein, Dean of the College of Computer and Information Sciences, to come forward.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree from the College of Computer and Information Science please rise? Mr. President, I have the privilege of presenting to you those candidates who qualify in all respects for the degree of Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Science with specification.
Graduates, I salute you.
I would like to invite Xavier Costa, Dean of the College of Arts, Media, and Design, to come forward.
The candidates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Arts, Media, and Design will please rise. Mr. President, I am pleased to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, or Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Graduates over there, I salute you.
I would like to now invite J. Murray Gibson, Dean of the College of Science, to come forward.
It is my honor to introduce those who are going to sustain and illuminate our planet in the future, the next generation of science leaders. Would the graduates of the College of Science please rise? Mr. President, I am honored to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts.
Graduates, I salute you.
I would like to invite Georges Van Denenbale, Dean of the College of Social Sciences and Humanities, to come forward.
The candidates in the College of Social Sciences and Humanities will please rise. Mr. President, it is my honor and supreme pleasure to present to you the graduate degrees in Bachelor of Science for all who have qualified for Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees.
Graduates, I salute you. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University, I confer upon you and all those who have properly qualified the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science with specification, according to the department in which you have qualified, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Graduates, congratulations.
Will all of our new graduates please be seated? It is now my pleasure to introduce Northeastern's a cappella group, the Northeasters.
right within my reach, and I always will remember all the strength you gave to me. Your love made me make it through. Oh, I owe so much to you. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be. 'Cause I always saw in you my light, my strength. And I wanna thank you now for all the ways you were right there for me. You were right there for me. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be. And everywhere I am there you'll be. Whoa. In my dreams I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am there you'll be. And everywhere I am there you'll be. There you'll be.
Let's hear it one more time for the Northeasters. The marshals will now present the graduates to the platform in order to receive their diplomas. We ask that all the graduates return to their seats once you have received your diplomas and remain seated until the end of the ceremony. We also would like to ask that all family and guests to remain in their seats until all the graduates have recessed. Graduates, please rise. Will all candidates that are receiving their first degree today please move your tassel from the right side to the left side. Now please join the Northeasters in singing the alma mater. Words and music are on the back page of the program. I'd like to invite all Northeastern alums in the audience to please stand and sing the alma mater with us. All graduates, please be seated.
Please be seated. Listen, I'm going to give you a choice. I have a long charge for you or a short charge. I can speak for an hour or speak for 3 minutes. What do you prefer? I guess that too. So here is my charge to you. The historian James Truslow Adams wrote, there are two types of education. One should teach you how to make a living, and the other how to live. I believe that Northeastern is that rare institution that gives you both. Yes. When you receive your diplomas today, I hope that you will see them not as certificates of attainment, but as passports. Today is not the finish line, but the starting gate. Your degree is your ticket to explore the world and question what you find. Wherever you are headed, stop and discover new places. Take risks and confront challenges. Explore new ideas and cultures not your own, just as you did here at Northeastern. As alumni, stay true to the experiences and friendships you nurtured here. In whatever city or country or continent you call home, always think of Northeastern University as your permanent home in the world. The world will always be your classroom, and the knowledge you acquired here will always be your guiding star. Let me tell you how I feel now. I am like you. I'm tired, I want to celebrate, and I feel that I want to go to the beach. So this is why I came ready. Congratulations, and let the celebrations begin. But we have to leave first. Thank you. Congratulations.
I'd like to please ask all of our graduates and their guests in the audience to please remain seated until the procession ends. Once again, congratulations to the entire class of 2012.
Thank you.